Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here continuing to cook up this NBA action, man. Y'all know we do around the jam session. We cook up every single game, every single day. Money making Monday, man. New week, new goals, new opportunities, man. We're just trying to keep the momentum rolling forward. We smashed another NBA play of the day yesterday with the Toronto Raptors, man. Solid, really solid money-making machine this season have been the Toronto Raptors. We love betting Houston, man, but we know laying extended points like that with Houston on the road is not their spot, not their situation, man. We're just trying to keep doing what we're doing, man. That's making money betting hoops. We got a loaded card today, man. Pretty much everybody's in action, and y'all know the drill, man. I'm finna cook it up and try to smash it per usual. You can scoop up that NBA play of the day over at Pickdawgz Premium, or you can hop on something long-term, man. Over at Pickdawgz Premium is where I have the games I personally am betting on the daily. Here on the Jam Session, man, I just give you guys my thoughts on every single game on the card. So if you want to know the games I personally have the most money on, the games I'm personally betting, you can scoop those up over at Pickdawgz Premium. But right here, right now on the Jam Session, man, I'm going to tell you what I like, why I like it, and why I see it the way I see it, man. So without further ado, let's continue to do what we do, which is kick the crap out of the books, man. Let's make some money tonight. Without further ado, man, let's hop right into tonight's NBA action. First game of the day. We're in Charlotte where the Hornets are 5.5-point home dogs with the Houston Rockets rolling in Houston. We have a problem. The Rockets, man, it's not a great spotting situation for them. If you're an OG here on the Jam Session, man, you know I'm a spotting situation better. We know the spots to bet for the Houston Rockets. They're one of our favorite money-making teams. At home, at the crib, we'll lay whatever on whoever with Houston. But laying points on the road is usually where you find issues betting the Rockets. Yesterday, we faded them. We had the Toronto Raptors. They were laying too many points on a really good home underdog. Toronto, right now, currently, the second best ATS team in the league. Toronto was winning majority of that game. Houston did fight back, come back and win it, but still, that makes it an even worse spot and situation for them tonight. On the back end of a back-to-back with travel, had to leave Toronto, go through customs, playing a Hornets team who has the rest advantage, a Hornets team who desperately needs a bounce-back game, a Charlotte Hornets team who's been a solid ATS team this season, a Charlotte Hornets team who's already beaten them once this season. Granted, that game was back in October, but I like the spot here for Charlotte at home dog. I love betting Houston, but we know where to bet Houston and when to bet Houston. Laying points like this on the road, on a back end of a back-to-back with travel, especially leaving Toronto, this is not a great spot for the Rockets. Give me Charlotte, plus the points, and maybe even a sprinkle outright on the money line here in our first game of the day. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up, we're in Cleveland, where the Cavs, 13.5-point home favorites over the Utah Jazz. This is a game, no need to spend too much time talking about it. No need to overcomplicate it. Lay the points here with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Best record team in the NBA, best ATS team in the NBA. Unless we have a clear and concise reason to fade them, I'm just not interested in doing so. The Utah Jazz, they have won back-to-back games. We'll give them slight credit for it. But in that same breath, it was against the Detroit Pistons and the Brooklyn Nets. Two of the worst teams in the NBA from a talent perspective. Cleveland, that's not the case. Cleveland is absolutely balling. They've taken 4 teams in a row behind the shed, beat up on Washington by 10. Took that same Brooklyn team behind the woodshed on the road, beat them by 29. Milwaukee, aired them out by 23. Philadelphia, aired them out by 27. I think they do the same thing to Utah here. Utah, terrible road team. Cleveland, best record team not featured on Christmas. I know the schedules come out before the season starts, but still, they probably feel somewhat slighted about that, man. I know they do. Number 1 record team in the East. We're not on Christmas Day. I think they take some frustration out on Utah tonight, man. Absolutely kick the crap out of them. Give me the Cleveland Cavs. Laying the points. Here in this. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up. We're in Orlando, where the Magic are 10.5-point home dogs with the defending champs, the Boston Celtics, rolling in. Hey, the Celtics, I have said for 2 seasons, are the best team in the NBA by a pretty decent margin. Player for player, roster for roster, man for man. And I still believe that wholeheartedly. Right now, today, they're still the best team in the NBA by a pretty decent margin. I say that to say, even with them, I'm not looking to lay this many points on Orlando. Nobody I would lay this many points on Orlando with. The Orlando Magic go stupid, dummy, crazy at home at the crib. Man, you're going to give me 10.5 in my back pocket with Orlando. I'm going to grab them. I know they're banged up. Boncaro, Franz Wagner, now Mo Wagner tore his ACL. Man, I know that the injury bug has really bitten this Orlando Magic team. We also see Jalen Suggs game time decision tonight. Keep an eye out on him. True questionable with an ankle injury. I say that to say I'm not laying 10.5 points on the Orlando Magic at home. They're too great of an ATS home team for us to do that. Boston, they've shown us too many times this season as extended favorites. They play with their food, let teams hang around, and the Orlando Magic are the wrong team to do that with. Just to play on the spot, play on the situation, play on what my eyes have been telling me. Just to play on, the spots in the situation. Boston, they will be playing on Christmas Day in a couple days. Think this is a game that get in, get out, get a dub. I highly doubt they kick the crap out of Orlando. Orlando, one of the deepest teams in the league, a next man up style team. Remember, this team was so bad for so long. They drafted so high for so long that they have one of the deepest rosters, if not the deepest roster in the NBA. Next man up theory for me here with Orlando. Cannot lay this many points on this team in Orlando. I wouldn't do it with anybody. I wouldn't do it with the East-West All-Stars. I'm just being real. Magic are one of our favorite money-making teams. Been a money-making machine. Let me just give y'all the number because I know y'all going to be asking for it. Since the start of last season, the Orlando Magic at home are 40, 15, and 1 ATS. They've covered in 72% of their home games since the start of last season. No way in hell I'm laying 10.5. Give me the Magic plus the points. Here in this. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up. We're in Philadelphia where the Sixers are 5.5 point home favorites over the San Antonio Spurs. What the hell have we seen from Philadelphia this season to suggest they should be 5.5 point home favorites over the Spurs? Nothing. I'm just going to trust my eyes, trust what I've seen this season, and that's that Philadelphia has been terrible. San Antonio has been drastically improved. San Antonio, I think, has a legitimate chance to come here and win this game outright. And then, if Embiid plays, I like the Wemby revenge angle. Y'all remember Joel Embiid tried to do his big one last year on the San Antonio Spurs and Wemby in that first game. He dropped, 50? I think it was, or was it 70? I forgot what it was. But he tried to embarrass him. I think Wemby and the Spurs remember that shit. I do. And I think they come here and bust up Philadelphia. Philadelphia has been the most overrated, overvalued team all season. They've surpassed the Knicks and the Kings. This line don't even make sense. And I don't want to try to make it make sense. I'm just going to trust my eyes, trust what I've seen, trust who these two teams have been thus far this season. Spurs have been the better basketball team. I'll grab the points in my back pocket. I like the motivation angle for Wemby, and also like an attack on the outright money line. Here in this one. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up. We got two teams who I don't really like to bet all that often. And a game I'm not really all that in love with. We got the Minnesota Timberwolves, the AKA the House of Disappointment, laying 3.5 points on the road on the Atlanta Hawks. Hey, the Hawks are off the D&B, but that doesn't mean we have to bet them. You feel me? And we've ran into some problems here with Atlanta recently, man. They've lost 4 of their last 5. They're banged up coming into this one. Trae Young, game time decision. Bogdan Bogdanovic, game time decision. Cody Zeller out. Keep an eye on this injury report for the Atlanta Hawks. For the Timberwolves, they've lost back-to-back games, man, in embarrassing fashion. They got taken behind the woodshed at home by the New York Knicks. And then in the bounce-back revenge spot against Golden State, laying points at home, man. Golden State playing as bad as they were playing. Golden State came in there and beat them up, man. Won the game by 10. So we've now seen Minnesota lose 3 of their last 5. Two teams I don't like betting all that often. I know I don't want to lay 3.5 points on the road with the house of disappointment. I want to know what's up with Trae Young. I'm hoping he plays. If he plays, it's a small lean for me on Atlanta. This is probably one of my least favorite games of the night. Bottom of the barrel style game, though. But I'll lean towards the Hawks. They've been solid in the underdog role. I'll give them a lean here in this one. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up. We're in South Beach, Miami, where the Heat are 10.5 point home favorites over the Brooklyn Nets. Hey, if you're an OG here, man, you know I'm damn sure not laying 10.5 points with Miami in Miami. Over the last 3-4 seasons, Miami is one of the absolute worst home favorites in all of the NBA. Laying extended numbers with this team at home is where you run into real issues. I know Brooklyn's been struggling. I know this team is really banged up, missing their bucket getter in Cam Thomas, but that still doesn't mean go lay 10.5 with Miami. We see Miami now lose 3 straight on the road to Detroit in an overtime loss. Got beaten up by the Oklahoma City Thunder, and then the Orlando Magic just beat them the other day. So I know that Brooklyn is terrible, but it's not like Miami on the other side is doing anything that suggests laying 10.5 here. So I won't do it. Give me Brooklyn, who's been the much better ATS team. I know sometimes you got to hold your nose, man, and bet a team like Brooklyn. And I think that's what we got to do today. Give me the Nets plus the points here in this. Next game up, we're in the Garden, Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks 14.5 point home favorites over the Toronto Raptors. Man, the Knicks are overrated and overvalued. I have to say it. Overrated and overvalued teams do cover sometimes, though, and I think this is a spot where they cover. I hate laying this many points on the second best ATS team in the NBA. It really makes my stomach hurt. I really don't want to do it. But I think it's the right thing to do. Give me the Knicks laying the 14.5 points here in this one. I don't like the spot for the Raptors on the back end of a back-to-back with travel. They choked away that game yesterday to the Rockets. They cashed for us. Shout out to Raptors. They did cash for us. Cash our play of the day. But they choked that game away. They really had it. They could have won that game outright. And the Knicks are a team that like to do it up against these style teams. So just a bad spot for the Raptors, man. I hate laying this many points on a really great underdog like the Raptors. And the Knicks are overrated, overvalued. Honestly, this line should really be like 10.5. I know that. But even despite that, I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks won this game by like 18, 19, 20 points. Pulled away in the end. We saw some dead legs from the Raptors when it's all said and done. Give me the Knicks here. I think they win the game comfortably. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up. We're in Chicago, where your Chicago Bulls are 2.5 point home dogs with the Milwaukee Bucks rolling in. Keep an eye out on this injury report for Milwaukee. Right now, Chris Middleton, game time decision. Damian Lillard, game time decision. Giannis Antetokounmpo, game time decision. That's why the line looks like it looks. I don't want to overcomplicate it. Even if these guys play, I want Chicago. And I want Chicago probably outright money line. Just play on the spot, play on the situation. I know Milwaukee's playing well, but right now they're still on the D&B. And one of my favorite spots and situations in the NBA is the bounce back spot at home. That also happens to be a revenge game. And that's exactly what we have here for your Chicago Bulls. They got beat up. By the Boston Celtics in that last one. No surprise there. They had beat Boston just a couple days before. Quick revenge. I know we love quick revenge here on the Jam Session. And in the quick revenge spot, Boston beat them up. The best team in the NBA. So no shocker there. Milwaukee, though, injury-riddled, coming off of going to Vegas, got a couple days rest coming up. They do not play on Christmas. They do not play again until the day after Christmas. So wouldn't be surprised they got their guys one more extra day of rest. And this was just kind of almost like I don't want to say a scheduled loss, but kind of, in all honesty. So Chicago always plays the Bucks tough. The season series right now is 1-1. They lost the last one. Bounce back spot at home. That also happens to be a revenge game. Sign me up here on your Chicago Bulls. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up. We're in Memphis, where the Grizzlies are 5.5 point home favorites over the Los Angeles Clippers. It's a tough game, to say the least, man. It's a tough one. Memphis goes stupid, dummy, crazy at home at the crib, but the Clippers have been a solid ATS team this season. I know Memphis is rolling right now, man. Memphis has been a money printing machine, as you see on your screen, 20-9 ATS thus far this season. Forced to play this game. This is one of the toughest ones for me, in my opinion. I can make an argument going both ways. I think I want the points in my back pocket here with the Clippers, though. Grizzlies win, Clippers cover. Is how I think this game plays out. The Clippers, I believe, match up well with what Memphis is trying to do. They have big presence down low, and they have some good perimeter guards that can make the Grizzlies guard and defend. And they can also match up really well with their guards. So I just think the Clippers match up really well with Memphis. Memphis is the better team, playing the better basketball. But because they're playing so well, I think they're slightly overrated, slightly overvalued in this style spot. Give me the points in my back pocket with the Clippers. Tough game. I could make an argument going the other way with Memphis, but ultimately, I think points in my back pocket with Los Angeles is the play that cashes. So that's where I'm at. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up. We're in Oklahoma City. We're the Thunder Buddies. 18.5-point home favorites over the Washington Wizards. Short, sweet, simple. We're laying the 18.5 here with the Oklahoma City Thunder Buddies. Man, they couldn't have made the line high enough. I would have laid 30. No bullshit. I would have laid 30 here with the Oklahoma City Thunder Buddies. The Wizards, they're one of the worst teams I've ever seen. The Thunder Buddies are our favorite money-making machine, our favorite money-making team. Hey, look at Landon extended in this game, an extendo clip like Jovan be saying. Look at land one of those here with Oklahoma City. I wouldn't be surprised they're up 20 at half and won the game by 40 when this one's all said and done. Short, sweet, simple. Thunder Buddies for life. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up. We got my favorite team, the Dallas Mavericks, laying 10.5 points on the Portland Trail Blazers. Hey, I love my Mavs. Y'all know that. I love betting my Mavs. Y'all know that. But I also know their spots and situations. And extended home favorites is not their spot, not their situation. Keep an eye on this injury report. Luka Doncic could be back tonight after missing a couple games. Even if he plays or if he doesn't play, I'm on Portland plus the points in this one. Dallas extended home favorites, not their spot. I'll lay whatever with them on the road. But at home, these are usually the games you run into issues with the Mavs. Portland, young team, scrappy bunch. Think they can do enough to keep this game competitive within the number. We saw the game be competitive earlier this season between these two. At the start of the month, the 137-131 in Portland. I think we're probably looking at something similar here. So, love my Mavs. I love betting them. But laying double digits with them at home is something I do not like doing. Give me the Blazers plus the points. Here in this. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up. We're in Denver, where the Denver Chicken Nuggets are 4.5-point home favorites over the Phoenix Suns. Hey, not a great spot for either team. Both teams played yesterday. Both teams on back end of back-to-backs with travel. We saw the Denver Nuggets struggle mightily yesterday with the Pelicans. They did win the game, but it took them overtime to do it. Now on a back end of a back-to-back with travel heading to Denver, it's not a great spot, even for the Nuggets, following an overtime game. So we'll admit that. On the flip side, Phoenix, we saw them lose outright yesterday to Indiana. Phoenix, they've only covered in 40% of their games last two seasons combined. They're an outright fade. They've been one of the worst ATS teams in the NBA. I trust the Nuggets in Denver, ultimately, is what this game boiled down to for me. The Nuggets go stupid, dummy, crazy at home, at the crib. They're the healthier team. Suns missing Devin Booker. I think it's just a bad spot for Phoenix. I think Denver locks in, wins the game comfortably. No need for me to really overcomplicate it. I know both teams haven't been great ATS this season, but Denver more trustworthy. Phoenix, when banged up, they've been a fade. They've been a fade no matter which situation you look at it through. Give me the Nuggets, laying the points. Here in this one. Next game up, we're in Golden State where the Warriors are 5.5-point home favorites over the Indiana Pacers. Pacers have been playing some really good basketball recently, man. These boys were terrible on the road to start the season. They've now won 4 straight. We talked about it yesterday, and they beat Phoenix outright, 120-111. Golden State, they were in a real funk there for a little while too. Their only 2 wins recently have both came against Minnesota. So for that reason and that reason only is why I can't trust Golden State laying the points. They got to show me they can beat somebody outside of the house of disappointment before I, again, want to lay this many points with them at home. We know over the last few seasons, Golden State has been much better on the road anyway. At home, where we've been able to target and fade Golden State. They were a money-making machine to start the season, but here recently they have not been that. And the way Indiana's been playing, I don't want to fade them. I told y'all that. I believe Indiana's going to turn that corner here soon. You don't fluke around and become one of the best offensive teams ever in the NBA like they were last year. That's not a fluke. That didn't just mess around and happen. They are that good. It just took them a second this season to kind of get back in that flow. I will admit, not a great spot tonight for Indiana on a back end of a back-to-back with travel. But in that same breath, they're playing so well right now. We're getting 5.5, fading Golden State, who's slightly overrated, slightly overvalued, who's still in a funk. I have to be on Indiana here, plus the points. Hearing this. Last game of the night. We got the Los Angeles Lake Show Lakers laying 5.5 points on the Detroit Pistons. Shout out to Lake Show, man. These boys have played well recently. They've won 4 of their last 5, including 3 straight as underdogs. Beat Memphis and Sacramento in back-to-back games. Keep an eye out on the injury report in this game. Day-to-day Anthony Davis is on the injury report, and old man LeBron James is on here as well. Both listed as game-time decision. If you're an OG here, though, you know the Lakers have been playing these roster manipulation games over the last couple seasons. I'm expecting both of these 2 guys to play. Lakers, again, have played well, but mainly as underdogs. I still don't trust them laying points on teams, especially over a bucket. You need them to win by 2 possessions in this game, essentially, is what you need. In Detroit, a scrappy, young and gun team, I think can do enough to keep this game competitive. So I'm on the Pistons plus the points in this one. Lakers as a dog. Lakers win games. I like the Lakers. They will win games, but laying points with them, not really what I'm interested in doing. Detroit, scrappy bunch. I think can do enough to keep this one competitive. So that's where I'm at here in our last and final game of the night. And that's going to conclude this episode of my NBA Jam Session. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you that continue to tune in and watch this video. Money Making Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do what we do, which is kick the crap out of the books, betting hoops. Of course, you can scoop up my NBA play of the day. We've hit 21 of 31 on that play, man, and we're just trying to keep the momentum rolling forward. You're going to hop on something even longer term. Loaded card for me today with pretty much everybody in action. No games tomorrow in the NBA, so the jam session will not be posted in the morning. It'll be posted tomorrow evening for the Christmas games on Christmas Day, so be on the lookout for that, man. That's it for me, man. We just broke all the games down. Hopefully we smashed it per usual. Appreciate y'all more than y'all know, man. All I ask is that you smash that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as I always say, man, if you're rocking with me, rock with me. I'm active on Instagram and Twitter all day long. There's a link for both in the description below, man. It's been your guy, Jay Briggs. See y'all tomorrow evening, man. I'm out of here. Peace.